Subscribe World Action and Reaction News, warn and press bell button for getting notification of all future updates. India needs to join the F-35 fighter alliance. For both the United States and India, which have barely started to deploy or develop fifth-generation air combat systems, the onrush of threats means there is little time to develop the follow-on or sixth generation of air combat systems. It is thus a relief that in Washington, the Trump administration appears to be moving toward offering India the platform that will best enable this transition, the Lockheed Martin F-35 fighter. China is also conspicuously developing its sixth-generation air combat system, while it is also just beginning to field its first fifth-generation fighter, the Chengdu Aircraft Corporation J-20. Slightly larger than the US Lockheed Martin F-22A, the world's first fifth-generation fighter, the J-20 is optimized for long-range air superiority with an estimated radius of 1,500 kilometers. Informal Chinese sources indicate the People's Liberation Army Air Force will purchase about 100 J-20A versions with less powerful engines, but then obtain 400 of a J-20B version with 15 to 18-ton thrust WS-15 turbofans with thrust vector control to ensure supermaneuverability. The J-20's electronic systems, including a new distributed aperture system, passive optical sensors, may have benefited from cyber espionage against early F-35 systems. But the future aircraft already under development will reflect China's vision for sixth-generation warfare capabilities, the exploitation of much higher levels of weaponized information combined with artificial intelligence, new energy weapons and dominance of outer space. The chief J-20 designer, Yang Wei, who last year moved on to a higher government position likely overseeing China's sixth-generation fighter program, in recent statements, has indicated that by the 2030s, the sixth-generation fighter will exploit artificial intelligence, perhaps with optionally manned versions, and exhibit new levels of maneuverability. Recent disclosures indicate China is developing new metamaterials that may enable new stealth surfaces with passive and active capabilities. Also, rapid Chinese development of fiber optic lasers points to their becoming aircraft weapons. In 2005, a Chengdu official told this analyst that CAC was considering its own F-35-like program, which so far has not been revealed. However, China's Shenyang Aircraft Corporation, SAC, is now developing its medium-size FC-31 stealth fighter, which may become a cooperative fifth-generation fighter program with Pakistan. For India, the next decade could see it surrounded by Chinese-made or designed fifth-generation fighters in China, Pakistan, and perhaps operating from PLA Navy's conventional and nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. India famously works to ensure a diversity of military technology sources, as it constantly seeks partners to advance its indigenous military technology sector. Russia, France, Britain, and Israel are its long-standing military technology partners, while the United States has in recent years become a more significant partner. In his February 14 testimony before the U.S. House of Representatives Armed Services Committee, U.S. Pacific Command, USPACOM, Commander, Admiral Harry Harris indicated a new level of willingness to offer India advanced systems, saying, "At the moment, India is considering a number of U.S. systems for purchase, all of which USPACOM fully supports, the F-16 for India's large single-engine, multi-role fighter acquisition program, the F/A-18E for India's multi-engine, carried-based fighter purchase. A reorder of 12 to 15 P-8 is, a potential purchase of Sea Guardian UAS, MH-60R multi-role sea-based helicopter, and F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. Of course, India alone will decide whether American or other combat aircraft meet its requirements for new 4+ generation land-based fighters, new carrier-based fighters and for its new fifth-generation fighters. But for the latter, there are compelling military, technical and political strategic reasons to consider the F-35. Indian observers, no doubt, have followed the F-35's controversial history, including its protracted development, doubts over it meeting its performance goals and its high cost which is coming down. All recent Western fighter programs have experienced delays and cost overruns. The difficulties are such that Japan, reportedly, may cancel its indigenous fifth-generation fighter program. India's 2007 program with Russia to develop its indigenous fifth-generation fighter, reportedly, remains in protracted negotiations, a decade later. By contrast, Lockheed projects that 1,000 F-35s will be flying by 2022. 12 countries are now buying the fighter, with prospects for up to 8 more customer countries. Its production run eventually could exceed 4,000 aircraft. If it also buys the F-35, India would help surround China with fifth-generation fighters, joining the F-35s from the United States, Australia, Japan, South Korea, and possibly Singapore and Taiwan. The informal F-35 alliance offers India a coalition that will strengthen its F-35 force, or become a possible source of interoperable support in the event of a war with China. Essentially a flying supercomputer, the F-35 is an information weapon, displacing legacy airborne warning and control systems, AWACS, and electronic warfare platforms. Its ability to give its pilots superior strategic and tactical decision-making cues derives from its large internal database of enemy systems and the ability to connect to larger OFFB-ORD databases. It will likely be an early platform to exploit advances in artificial intelligence to enable near-instantaneous responses needed to employ energy weapons or to react to them, perhaps leading to the first truly autonomous air combat platforms. The F-35's DOS has an unclassified range of nearly 1,200 kilometers and is described as good enough to help intercept ballistic missiles. Perhaps by the 2030s it could be shooting them down. For years Lockheed has touted the potential of the F-35 to be an early carrier of effective laser weapons, perhaps 300 kilowatts and above. The shaft from the engine to the lift fan of the F-35B short takeoff vertical landing, STOFLO, version could also power an electric generator for a fiber optic laser. With more power, a second-generation laser system may be able to dazzle small low Earth orbit surveillance satellites, which China may loft in the thousands. By the mid-2020s, the F-35 could be incorporating a next-generation turbofan engine that reportedly promises 30% more range, perhaps boosting the F-35's unrefueled combat radius to nearly 2,000 kilometers. New generations of stealth surfaces could also become active systems, increasing stealth and electronic warfare capabilities. More refined versions of these advances can be expected to become part of the U.S. Air Force's sixth-generation fighter program. But before that there could be a range of options for CO developing new versions of the F-35. But as the F-35 is slated to become a vertebrae in the backbone of the free world's defense, it is crucial that India consider new levels of information security cooperation, as many other countries are dependent upon protecting the databases, operations, and technical data of this fighter. The United Arab Emirates is discussing such procedures with Washington. Doing so will not only create confidence in India as an F-35 program partner, it can also accelerate India's path to the sixth-generation capabilities needed to deter China into the 2030s.
Thanks for watching. I hope you like this news. Please share your views in comment box. Please like and share this video. Press subscribe button and bell for auto update to you regarding my channel World Action and Reaction News. Warn.